Hey gang, Puppy here. As you can see, we're back with these two pieces of opal and these three little paper thin laminae. Anyway, I have looked at this one and I've come to the conclusion it's seam opal. It looks like two layers just slipped apart and got filled with opal. And I did look at it. Well, anyway, I can see the color in here. Maybe you can't, because you're there and I'm here. So, and this other piece uh, appears to be seam also. Although it could be seashell, but it's hard to tell. Yeah, I think I see one. There we go. One tiny little one there. Unless I want to get into making triplets. Boo! Hiss! Yeah, I agree with you. Hey, anyway, this one I imagine I can get a ring-size stone somewhere out of the middle of it. And you recognize that for a size reference. Yeah, I'm going to zoom out just a tiny little bit. Hey, look at that. I was testing out a diamond core drill. Guess one of these days I'm going to have to finish coring that. I believe the reason I stopped is because this little went ding. Ah. See the fractures running through that. I would have had to been dopping it onto round toothpicks, which I'd chop the pointy end off. Look at here. Yeah, just barely saw that color bar, but believe me, it's there. The only reason the stuff is here is because I cut it off of something else, or oops. Look at there. Uh, there we go. You see the sand beat me there. I guess this is my beaten by sand and cracked in the middle of the cutting jar. Gee, must have been trying out another. Now you see, ooh, is that? If you see any color in that, that's because it's black. As in the good black. My guess is this is a piece of black potch I saved if I ever wanted to make a doublet. But anyway, you see this stuff here. You know, I've been cutting opal since 1973. So you can imagine I would have accumulated one or two pieces in the failure department. Now, let's see. I'm going to look through here. Uh, that's not opal, and I didn't cut it, so. That's that. Oh, I thought that blue star saph. Okay, I was wondering where that went. Piece of that Afghani lapis. See how dark blue that lapis is? That's some nice lapis. I got some more pieces. Bought a parcel of it from another piece of lapis. Okay, that exhausts that one. It's got, this is black, and it's got a magnificent color too. I got a parcel of black from this guy. I just washes them out. No, no. Oh, well, that puts more here. More light there, I should say. This, as you can see, is a doublet. Free form. Another freeform doublet. Another freeform doublet. This was some decent dark base. And in order to cut my way out of it, I had to slice and doubletize. Another freeform doublet. Ah, here it is. How is that for black? Now, that's a black opal. That's the blackest opal I've ever cut. And there's a lot of color in it, a lot of beautiful color, but it don't come across here. There's a gray base doublet. You notice it's showing its color better than that. Even on camera, you can see the difference. Yeah, another one of them. Like I said, oh, is that it? No, that's just some broad flash. I wish you guys could see this. Here's a piece of gray base, and I doubleted for practice because there's like no color in that base. None. But I got good practice. There's some dark, good green. Yeah, another one of these. Ah, some more of that black here. That dark base, freeform. Yeah. Another piece of the black. And look at that. A crack. Makes you want to cry, doesn't it? 'Cause that was a beautiful stone. More black. More black. Nice piece of white. It's got decent color. Not showing up on camera here because it's shitty light. Well, that's a J. There. Beautiful color here. It's a I want to say crystal with a slightly dusky back color. Matched pair. Another piece of white with some really nice color. Beautiful color there. Yeah, that's lapis. Put that over there. Big doublet I made long ago. Pretty stone. It's a lot bigger than a doublet I made that a local jewelry shop owner called a monster. No one would want that in a ring. So he lost because I cut it, put it in a ring. Another piece of that black. Nice. Another piece of that lapis. Some white. I was going to doublet something on. That look about right? And here's the last piece of that black. You see it's got craters. It's got craters. Ah. You know. Somewhere in here should be a lentil cut with a beautiful floral on one side and a rolling flash on the other. With absolutely paper thin layer of black. There was the top layer color, microscopic layer of black, and microscopic layer of color looked like in more black, right? Well, I got rid of the cap, got the color working. Hey, that's beautiful. Got it domed and polished. Got the girdle all done up. All I had to do was flip it over and bring the bottom down, right? I got into it. I see this spark of color in the middle of the back of this stone. Screech halt, optivisors on, and it was fantastic. I had that rolling flash on the bottom. I very carefully worked it. So I had that lenticular, some people say it's because it's lens shaped. I say it's because it was shaped like a lentil. Yeah. Anyway, this should be here. I don't know why it is not. Is it hiding in these commercial? No, it's not hiding in them commercial cut stones. Okay. Well, as you can see, I've got some opals here I've cut. See if I can get the color in this baby to pop out for you. Oh, you see that red, the purple? Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I see the green. Yeah. Oh, that's lapis. That's such a dark lapis. There. You can just about see the greens in that. Lots of color there, small, but it's there. And look at that. I mean, lots of color there. Okay, set them aside. Okay, I showed you the two I just two stones I just bought recently. They were featured in I Got My Rocks, Want to See. Okay, now earlier today, earlier this evening, I went out to the shop and I pulled my lapidary unit up off the high shelf and I put it down on my auxiliary work surface there in the shop. And I installed the water cooling system for my 6-inch flat lapidary unit. And I dug out the laps. You know, my cutting lap, the one cutting lap I had out there is a crystallite 6-inch 600 grit electroplate. And I tell you, I bought. Let me put my shirt on so I don't have to put this video on OnlyFans. There. Ta-da! You're there! You're still there! Hey! I put my shirt on, you know, don't want to be recording topless. Like anyone want to see that anyway, right? Anyway, I took my lapidary unit off the high shelf. I put it on my auxiliary work surface out there in the shop. That's out there in the shop. I attached the water drip. There's a Tupperware container. I put a valve in the bottom, a line. There's an arm coming out, and it's got the little drip nozzle. And it swings in just a perfect arc from the center of the lap out to I made that when I bought the lapidary unit from this guy at a yard sale halfway across town on Brown Street, I think it was, or Amber. Might have been Green Street. Anyway, he had a yard sale. And this old guy, I mean, he wanted to be a craftsman. He really tried. All his stones that he cut were ugly. It's the nicest thing I can say. They were ugly. Okay, and his metal work, he was at Biowax Pattern from Auto Fry and somehow force a stone into it. Okay, the lapidary unit I bought from him was a faceting machine kit. You know, you get the castings and maybe a couple pieces of bar stock and, you know. Okay, the bottom end was done okay. The only thing I had to fix about the bottom end of this faceting machine kit build was the motor, a quarter or 1/3 horse Dayton, was upside down. So the belt would be down here. Unfortunately, I was running the motor backwards. So it went, you know, it went counterclockwise, which with a right-hand screw, it means unscrew. So I had to turn the motor 180 and put 3 stilts under the lap, you know, the lap unit. A pulley, bearings, shaft to come out, a screw, you know, to grab hold of the master lap. I had no choice. I had to lift the lap unit to have it running clockwise. No biggie. They give me a lot of room down here under the lap. But, okay, they had a cast iron master lap. Master lap is cast iron. You don't cut on it. You put your cutting lap on it. Anyway, this guy had been using his master lap as a cutting lap. I could tell by the dish it had taken on. All the way around, it was a hemispherical hemitoroid. Hemispherical hemitoroid. Half a donut, hollowed out. Yeah. That went over my left shoulder. I've got aluminum master lap and a polymer master lap. I use them. Less weight, less strain on the motor, less strain on the bearings in the lap head or base, spindle. Anyway, and since I was unable to find any belts for it, it's got V-belt pulley on the motor. And when I got it, I had a round belt that would, in like 50 years sitting in the sun, weather checking, I pick it up and the little piece I was holding was between my fingers and very slight exaggeration, very slight. I went and I checked all the places in town where I could get a V-belt. I couldn't get one the right size or durometer. I went to the stationery store, you know, paper, pencils, pens, inks, drawing boards, French curves, triangles, T-squares, you know, stationery store. And I bought a box of these. Standard rubber band. It's a size 107. I can't remember the name of it. But dry belt for my lapidary unit. Oh, I hear you laughing out there. Works perfectly. And remember, this ain't no heavy grinding I'm doing here. It's a little bit of light shaping on soft stone. So it ain't faceting diamonds, rubies, emeralds. I'm cutting and polishing opal. Maybe a little bit of lapis. Yeah. Uh-huh. The reason I got the lapis because it was really good lapis, man. Hellaciously good lapis. And I got a great price. And at that parcel of black, that was the best $40 parcel of opal I ever bought. Bar none. Anyway, The one problem with this is the drive belt was it was too wide and wanted to roll out. So yeah, I split it. There. Now I put that on the pulleys. Thusly, there's the exact right size, and that's got more than enough tensile that it spins those 6-inch those 6-inch laps just right. Someone's saying that it bogs, right? And stalls out. I'm not drag racing here. I'm gently bringing the beauty out of an expensive piece of rough gemstone. You want to bog a little? Let it. If it bogs a little bit too much, I reach up and go. Back to it. Now, how I developed my technique for polishing opal. I started in high school, last of junior year, and the other kids in applied art, that was the name of the course, applied art, applying fine art technique to everyday items, you know. So gemstone cutting, well, cabochons, no faceting, cabochon, silver casting, gold casting. There were the potters over in that corner. Not that kind of potter. We're talking the ones that got up to their elbows in mud. Okay. All right. Now, I'm in there. I was specifically in there for lost wax casting. That's what I contracted with Mr. Costa. I would learn lost wax casting. If he didn't make me do the stupid shed heddle crap and look at Macro Man. Contracted lost wax casting. I may take a foray into something related to lost wax, but you will see. Right? And Lou saw a lot of castings come out of my toolbox. It got to the point where I was doing my own casting, but Lou was my assistant. I was doing casting for other students in Janie Klinger's class. Lou'd let me do my own casting, but not other students. But Janie, she said, yeah, hey, take her over there and show her how to cast, okay? All right. Anyway, they were making mistakes cutting opal. First of all, they were getting it hot. no, no, no. I disagree most emphatically with everyone who says it's safe. Just don't get the stone too hot. Just move it quickly, and I don't need to worry about the temperature of the dop stick and the wax on it and the stone because I use crazy glue. I use epoxy where they are appropriate. Large stone, epoxy may be reinforced. Small stone, crazy glue. A little bit bigger, a little bit of baking soda. Makes a good base to cut down to. And in the acetone, crazy glue disappears. Overnight, crazy glue disappears. You can take it out so you can redop it and work the back. Same thing for epoxy. Acetone removes it. In fact, with crazy glue, you can put a dopped stone on the stick with crazy glue as it's cement into water. And most crazy glues, cyanoacrylates, the water will make it let go. You need special waterproof, some people call it surgical. Yeah, that's why it's surgical, because it's fluid proof. Anyway, and the second mistake people were making, they were buying a piece of rough. They just figured they were going to get exactly a 12 by 15 or whatever, because that oval hole in the ellipse template sheet, yeah. So they were cutting girdle first. Then they think about a dome. What Justin at Black Opal Direct and other cutters call facing. And they'd find the colors right on the edge of their oval, and they cut off this much. They could have got like a couple of 3 ring stones. And they went for the belt buckle stone. There wasn't a belt buckle stone there. Rough selection. You have to be very careful selecting your rough. Point taken. Would you believe that's $54 worth of opal there? Yeah, I got to cut $54 worth out of this to get out whole. Luckily, it's only a $50 stone I got to get. Maybe a couple small accent stones. I'm gone. So, when you see me next, out in the shop, well, I'll show you breaking in a electroplated diamond lap. Because you do want to break it in. You just don't want to put a brand new lap on your lapidary unit and go at it with your high-priced, expensive, valuable rough. No, you want to put that brand new wheel on there, and you want to take something of the appropriate hardness and find out if there's a wild hair crystal sticking up. Is going to go scratch, scratch, scratch all over your part. My 600 grit crystallite had one of them. And for about 4 years, I worked around that stripe on the disc. Then I borrowed a plane from a friend. I had to plane a door. And the iron was like 32nd of an inch flat spot. I fired up the lap, filled the water drip, and I took that iron and halfway between starting and a nice sharp edge that stopped. I'd either finally fractured that crystal and it washed away, or it pulled out. I'd say fractured. Anyway, I'll show you breaking in a couple or three, maybe 4 or 5 of the brand new laps that I showed you when I unboxed and said, wow, yeah, they're most likely to use. I'm never going to use that 50 on opal. Maybe to sculpt bricks, literal bricks. And I'm not going to be cutting with the high number discs, like the 3000 grit diamond disc. If I have to get up there to do my shaping, I'm doing something wrong. Okay, and the metal oxide slurry polishing. We were using chamois, not those synthetic towels. The guy who got arrested for beating up a transgendered sex worker, not those chamois. The proper pronunciation of the word chamois. Anyway, we were using tin oxide chamois buff for our final polish. That was okay, but messy. I've also used cerium and chrome, and there was another one, I forget it. They're all about the same, slightly different applications. I found that my 6-inch leather-faced diamond laps with loose diamond compound. It's in a slurry, in a syringe. Put a few drops of heavy mineral oil. That stuff people drink if they need lubrication. Anyway, right after I shape on the 600 grit disc, clean it up, inspect and all that, I go straight to sanding. 240, 325, 100, all the way up to 100,000. Where I cross the line from sanding into pre-polish and pre-polish into polish is a matter of opinion. But the 3 problems that I saw with other people getting opal too hot: crack, bad selection polish. I'm sorry, metal oxide polishing, felt or chamois just don't get it for me. I got my nice little leather laps, diamond compound. Do a little bit of extra cleaning between grits. Other than that, hey, okay, I will see you, or you'll see me again when I go out to the shop and show you breaking in some 6-inch electroplate bond diamond flat laps. Good night, California.